do with a producer if I don't record the actual interview. So anyway, if you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else, we're interviewing today Invisible Squirrel. We've had to drag him out in the green room covered in chocolate, and he keeps trying to get me nuts. Someone get him off me nuts, will you? For God's sake. And these shows are we're trying to introduce artists that we know you should be listening to. We've had artists go on to Aloha Festival, Glastonbury, award winners. We've had everything rocking and a popping because this is Dougie Stone Radio. And today's show is sponsored by the awesome Woof and Brew, which you need to check out. They sponsor the Friday morning show, which is absolutely awesome of them to do that, and some great products, great gift ideas for you or your own doggies, or people that have got dogs that are loved. That's their tagline, dogs that are loved. But anyway, we're going to get on with the show. We're going to bring him in. He's been in the green room and he's made a right mess. Anyway, how you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks, Kirk. It's nice that you're associated with dogs, because the name Invisible Squirrel came from this fictitious squirrel that my dog used to bark at about 6 a.m. every morning, and you'd kind of look outside and there wasn't anything there, so you've actually unwittingly revealed why that I'm called Invisible Squirrel.
Mate, I'm a frigging genius. You know what I mean? I'm not just playing it. That's awesome. It's an awesome story. See, I've not got another camera. I've not got my other camera set up at the minute. But straight out of my studio here, right at the bottom of the garden, because we've got a really long garden, we've got a plum tree, and I have a bird feeder there.
Okay.
Yeah, for the frigging squirrels, because they just eat them all. But my dad came, he went, "Oh, I hate squirrels." I went, "I love them, Dad. I've known my 5 or 6, run all over the garden, jump up and down, cause havoc. It's awesome. Awesome. Hey, that's cool, that. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
So what kind of doggy have you got?
She passed away about 3 months ago.
Oh, Jesus, there we go. Here we go.
Grand old age, about 15 years, and she's called Edie. She was like somewhere between a Labrador and a Collie. So she was clever, but she used to eat everything they used to put in front of her. That was basically it.
And a bit thick. She's barking at invisible squirrels.
Yeah, sometimes I used to think she was clever, but when she did that, yeah, you're definitely right.
Could have been something there, mate. There could have been a presence in the atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? You never know, do you? I'm not into all that, but you don't know. There could have been something there that she could sense that you couldn't sense. You don't know, do you? So we brought you on. We've got a few tracks lined up, and it's awesome to get you on. And we became aware of you, and I think I might start with a track, if you don't mind, which you own. Thanks very much for sending your latest track that's not been released yet. I think we're going to start with a track that you did for Joe Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
That track, man, just blew me away. It blew me away, and that track is one of the reasons why we got Joe Peacock on the show as well, because of that track. It was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Let's get him on. And so just tell us a bit about what you've been doing and how you've ended up doing these producing and remixes that you've done.
Well, I kind of released music under 2 artist profiles, and have been probably nearly 3 years under my name, Joe Adamar. But the Invisible Squirrel, that came about because I always used to sneak in a couple of EDM tracks to every album, but they didn't really sit with the album. So in June last year, so it's a year ago about now, I just started a different artist profile, one which I could be a little bit more anonymous, and just started to remix people, and Joe's one of the many people that I've done remixes for or produced. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I love that, and that makes sense. That's because if you're under a pseudonym or a ghostwriter or whatever, you can be a different person, can't you? You can do something a bit different, which I like. It's a good idea. That. Good idea.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was in 2 minds about being interviewed as the Invisible Squirrel, but Janice is so persistent.
Mate, you've only got her once. I have it every bloody day. Have you done this yet? Have you done that yet? Have you done this yet? Have you done? It's unbelievable.
She's tenacious. Let's just say that.
She's absolutely awesome. It's awesome. It's like it's my radio wife, and so yeah. So my wife actually is a bit like that. It's called Sandra, and she said, "So have you got another Sandra? Have you?" I went, "Yeah, I have, love, thanks." You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, we could also do one. We could also interview. You should have come on dressed as a squirrel. Then no one would know who it was, and we could have interviewed you as your other persona. I need to go and find your other.
The temptation would be to wear this, which is my rubber squirrel mask, but
Only at the weekend, my friend. Only at the weekend. So I'm going to play this track that you've done for Joe Peacock, which, if you've not heard it, people, go and download it. It's called Trace. And this, I said, this reminded me of Left Field. So whatever you've done with this track, it's got Left Field oozing out of it. And I know you've not copied Left Field, but it's got that vibe. Does that make sense to me?
Oh no, I'd take that as a massive compliment because the Leftism, that album that came out in the sort of 90s that got played a lot on my stereo. That's for sure.
So don't just believe me, people. Have a listen to this track, and we'll be right back. There'll be a few graphics playing and all the rest of it, while me and Joe, whatever. You'll never know. You'll never know what's going on. The Invisible Squirrel on Dougie Stone Radio's Introducing. Listen to this, people. Get it downloaded. Very left field, that, isn't it, people? Beautiful, beautiful. So if you just joined us, we're talking to, I was going to say Joe Peacock then. The Invisible Squirrel, live on Duggystone Radio. So that track he did was in collaboration with Joe Peacock, Birmingham artist. Yeah, I think I did check out. You just sent us a message. You should check out the thing you did with the Raz. I was listening to that earlier on, and we might put that on if that's one of the tracks you want on. We'll put that on, sir. Why not?
It's all about the squirrel. That's probably one of the best shouts actually out there on Spotify. Yeah.
So is that on the? Is that on there? Is that on your feed, or is that just on theirs?
It's just theirs. They didn't tag me on Spotify, but if you look on it, it's the last EP that they did I think they released 2 weeks ago on Friday. But yeah, it's just track 3 on that EP.
Okay,
Yeah.
track 3. What's it called? Oh, there you go. Our design. The lousy swines. Fancy not tagging you in said thing.
No, I do. Do you know what? The Rars are way bigger than I am, and the fact that they just put my name in it will do me, because they're good lads, and it was great to get their stems. And the fact that it turned up was a complete surprise, to be honest.
Excellent. So. Well, I've got that up next, and you've been very gracious in sending us a track that's not been released yet, which I've got. I did it on a little promo earlier on, so we'll be playing that. You're getting lots of love in the chat room. I think you said you like the squirrel, but someone no, it was someone else that said I love the squirrel. Any questions, people? Let us know. Shawnable said he's from Wolf and Brew, sending some Wolf and Brew. We've established that we would do. We would have sent you some Wolf and Brew, but obviously you've not got a doggy, so.
Yeah.
All I'll say to you is, if you decide to get another doggy, let me know, because I'm plugging them here. They sent me this last week. I've got to send this to someone who's sent the video. It says Bottom Sniffer, which I think is an awesome name, perfect for Duggystone Radio, and it's also got a Bottom Sniffer bandana inside it. So that's going off to someone. I think I know who I'm sending that to. So let us know.
I have to say, Kirk, that explains the comment in the chat room, because I just thought someone was referring to me as a bottom sniffer.
No, it's a beer, and it's called Bottom Sniffer, which I think is just cheap. And if we've got another sponsor on the station called Dillygaff, which is Does It Look Like a Give a Yes, that. But that's perfect for us as well. So any brands like that, just send them our way, because we're a bit nutty. So how long have you been producing music then?
Seriously, probably about a year. This is the thing, a lot of people get confused about what a producer is. I'm of the old school. Producer being someone who helps someone else to make their songs better, and remix them, but also help them with song construction. But producing my own music, it's 19 years now.
Excellent. I'm going to have to go and find some of your stuff in a minute. You'll have to drop in the chat if you're on the chat, and let us know what it is. We'll go and get some. We're going to have to bring some of your other stuff up, aren't we? That'd be wrong, I think.
Thank you, Kurt. I'll put that in as soon as
yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I was under I can't know everything. Janice knows everything. I was under the impression, because I didn't even know it was coming. I didn't even know what you look like, because you're the Invisible Squirrel.
Well, there you go. I imagine that you're doing this so often that you don't get the time to actually research beforehand. So it's all a bit. I mean, in a way, it's nice to be able to watch you have a first listen, which is a good part of listening to music, is actually being able to gauge the reaction of someone first time.
And that happens a few times, because Janice produces the Thursday Atomic Dustbin. Sometimes I listen to the show in the car the day before and have a drive around and listen to it. And then other weeks I'm like, wow, that's great. I've never heard it before. So yeah, it is good. And I think that's where we want to do shows like this and talk to people like yourself and other artists that are on, because I get frustrated because I get in people's vehicles, I'm not going to mention names, and I go, oh, not this again. Not this again. Not this. Oh, I don't like new music. Not this again. Yeah, this is great, but open yourself up to other stuff. And I think that's why I want to produce this show, to get people to get that first listen and go, wow. And for me, what works really well, some of the shows that we've been doing and talking to people like you, Minnie's, she'll be here later on. She's nearly 13. She came in the other week and I had one of my playlists going for one of my shows. She went, wow, Uncle Kurt, what's this? This is awesome. I'd listened to this myself. I said, well, sure, you bloody should. And off she went with that playlist. So it's nice. We've got older people, we've got younger people enjoying the stuff that we're spinning, which I think is great and exactly where we need to be. But drop it in the comments where we're at. You should check out any mixes. Any other collaborations, Janice is saying? We've got the Raz. I think you've done a few so far, haven't you?
Yeah, under Invisible Squirrel, I think out on Spotify, the ones that I can remember, and I'm probably going to forget a few, but my first was as a guy called Opalo, who's up in Aberdeen, sort of an indie musician, singer-songwriter, and I just took one of his uplifting tracks, just stole the vocal and just tried to write a banger for it. That was the first one. Mantra Ray, who I think are actually on your chat. Yeah, I've put one out that they did 80% of it, and I just sort of beefed it up, which tends to be a lot. The people that send me stems, I kind of introduce a little bit of synth, but I don't overdo it. But they've got another one coming out soon, which we're working on together still, and that is good. They've got a chorus that is just solid. So if you're listening, Mantra Ray, you're going to have a hit when you release that one, because it's been really enjoyable remixing it. That's
Awesome,
for sure.
awesome. I could do him playing. Oh, I found your profile now on the old Spotify. We'll get so out of those. That your most popular one's Mountains. I tell you what, should we break the tradition? We're going to play this track now from.
Because that's the one I've forgotten. There too. I mean, Joe Peacock did his last album. 9 out of 10 tracks were sort of me producing, but The Mountains was as a collaborative songwriting thing with great bunch of lads up in West Lothian called Silver Har, who really decent musicians, and that song was basically the everything bar the vocal was done, and I sent it off to Tom, their lead singer, and he put down sort of have a listen. It's a fair track. But,
so people, this is.
I think the beauty of it is because what Tom did. I'm not going to take much of the accolades on that one. It was all
Mate,
about.
beef yourself up. Come on, we don't like that on the station. Listen to this, people. This is not the Invisible Squirrel. He's gone off. As squirrels do. Nice, man, nice. Be right back.
When you turn to me and softly say it's over, but you see that it's not that way, and it's all in my head, so I just pretend it's not over. It feels like we've drifted apart. I can tell from the pain in my heart that even then I'll find it somehow that it's over. It's over. I will show you just one more try to show that I adore you. I will move mountains for you if I could. It seems like only yesterday that we held in our hands our future, our plans to rewrite the rules, but we're looking like fools as we stand with our heads in our hands. Real life strikes a match to our plans, 'cause we never knew as reality grew, we fall over. We can pick ourselves back up again. I will show you, give me just one more try to show I adore you. I would move mountains for you if I could. Please stop picking apart, then we can pick it all back up again. Please stop picking apart, then we can pick it all back up again. Please stop picking apart.
How cool is that? So we're chatting with the Invisible Squirrel, who's actually, I'll get him to pronounce his name. I want to say Adamar. Hopefully that's right. That's right. And I thought the name was familiar because Joe was featured on Dougie's a Tommy Dustbin with his track called Power Lines. My producer's just reminded me because she's the font of all knowledge. So go and check him out as well as the Invisible Squirrel. And I'm going to bring you back on the screen. Awesome track, man. I love that. Absolutely love that. First time I've ever heard that, and it's got a real grabs you, that one.
I tell you what, I know what you've proved, though. We made it about a minute too long, because actually the strongest minute of that song is just as you faded it out, because it absolutely tears your face off, that track.
Oh,
but
man.
that's my bad as a producer.
I should have let it play. I thought, we've been going for 3.5 minutes. It's about right. I thought
I should enter the mind of a DJ.
If it was on my show, I'd let it play. But otherwise, it takes up 5 minutes of the interview, and it just
3.5 minute rule. I know about the 3.5 minute rule. We broke it, and you see.
Listen, I'm all for playing that. I play 9, 10 minute, 11 minute tracks on my show. I'm not really bothered. But for this, it makes sense to cut it short. If I'd have known that, I'd have brought it in. I'd have let it run all the way. We could carry on listening to it if you want.
No. The moments happen.
But people, go and listen to it. Go and listen to that track. Go and check him out, because that is a brilliant, brilliant track. Because you can listen when you listen to music straight away. You go, I don't like this. Turn it off, don't you? That straight away is like, it got me. It's brilliant. Love it, mate. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, props to Tom for making it sound that way, because that was definitely mostly him.
The vocals are stunning, aren't they? The vocals on that are brilliant, mate. But it's like everything. It's like a good meal, isn't it? It's all the components together. Do you know what I mean? It's not just about the chicken. It's everything else that flavours it. You know what I mean? If you get a piece of amazing chicken breast, which is the said singer, yeah. It's all the ingredients behind it, and the chef creates with his flavours, and that's what you do as a producer.
I'll take that.
So never put yourself down. Never put yourself down. We don't like that sort of stuff. I don't anyway. There's too many people out there putting everyone down. Never put yourself down. Never have that internal doubt. We don't want that. Anyway, that's what he's doing in the USA. What are you doing in the USA? You're not in the USA, eh? Are you going to the USA?
No, I've just got back. It's just what my job. It takes me overseas. So
all right. Secret agent people, he can't talk about it. Do you know what I mean? 007 and all that. So yeah, it takes him overseas. Yeah, I used to have a job like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those jobs that I'd prefer to keep separate from music.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you, but she's inquisitive, you see. She needs to know what's going on. But anyway, if you're out there, share the broadcast. Go and follow us on the station, and go and follow the artist as well, because absolutely brilliant. So the Raz, how did that come about then? The Raz thing.
I keep having this, and I enjoy thanking Kimbo. So Kimberly Forsyth, who she kind of organised something called the Sessions, which is through one of your competitors called In Your Ears Music. But they've done 2 already, where they spend the weekend playing people's tracks that are live. It's normally acoustic guitar and vocal, or maybe. And I got to know Kimbo through that, and she just asked me one day if I would remix O Paulo. But after O Paulo, I think she was at a gig for the Raz, and the same thing happened. And a couple of DMs later, they sent me the stems for a couple of their tracks, and that was the one that I chose because it's got an absolutely brilliant vocal on it. And I think I gave it back to them about September last year, but it's taken this long to actually release it as an EP, because I think they waited for maybe a couple more remixes from other people.
Yeah, cool. Sure, I think we'll play that now. You've tempted us. So this is the Invisible Squirrel with the Raz. Awesome. You just know that's going to do so well, don't you? So we're chatting with Invisible Squirrel, and that's his collaboration with, or he's produced for the Raz. We'll check that out. Awesome, man. Awesome. Let's just fade that out and get him back in the room. Yeah, I'm liking that.
Yeah, well, that's the brilliance of the Raz. They're really going places, that band. So I feel quite honoured that I got the chance to do something for them.
Yeah, that was brilliant, that, mate. Really good. It's a very Fatboy Slim-esque there. Right here, right now, right now.
I was doing it in the 90s, and the amount of times is either Chemical Brothers, Fatboy Slim, Left Field. That's my origins. I kind of lost touch with the whole scene, really.
Yeah, and, I'm not saying you're copying them, but it's got that feel to it. It's got exactly that feel to it. So I'm loving it. Loving your work.
Fatter the better. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Crunch them up, make them even fatter. So they have to have like some sort of aid to get up.
Yeah,
a wheelchair maybe.
That's absolutely brilliant. And who was it? You said Mantra Ray. You went, hey, we were listening on Mixcloud, but we seem to have lost connection right after Squirrel mentioned us. This is our last single he produced for us. So they've sent me that. So it looks like my playlist that I had set up has just like disappeared. It's
it's a shame. Yeah, the Mantra Ray it's not as big banging beats, but those boys come more from a rock angle. So I love remixing their stuff because they're so enthusiastic.
We'll play. Well, we've got to play a little bit of it, even if we don't play it all, because they've got involved, haven't they? And it's only fair that we do that.
Absolutely. No, you should get them on. Get them interviewed because they're good lads.
Right, Janice, get on them. Manta Ray, let's see what they're like. See what they've got. Yeah, let's get them rocking. Wow, so it's pretty good, mate. Must be busy. So how much are you producing? Are you producing all the time? Are you working on music all the time?
I've been obscure like most of us are in new music because we haven't been signed. But no, I've had a couple of months that it suddenly started to get interesting. I mean, I don't know if you use Bandcamp much, but I've got an album that's coming out on the 12th of July, and they get about 1,000 albums a day. But you've always got the option to punt it to them so that they could review it, and they feature 5 every day on the homepage, but I managed to somehow get through the firewall, and that's going to be on their homepage. They call it New and Notable.
Excellent.
And then I did the same with the Squirrel. I got an album coming out in August for the Squirrel, and he's gotten the New and Notable. So all my Christmases have come at once for some reason. There'll be a couple of months where it'll be slightly more lively on the socials, I think, for me, and then it'll just go back down, and nobody will have heard of me after that.
It's excellent. You got to keep pushing away, haven't you? Well, you just got to keep doing the stuff that you enjoy doing. If you enjoy doing it, then do it. That's why I do these, because I enjoy discovering people, new music, interviewing them, and getting behind the facade of what else they're out there, and find out what the person's like, really. So
I've got to say, Kirk, yours seems to be one of the most professional setups of all these sort of independent radio stations, and it goes without saying that us out, that all the artists in the UK that sort of get their stuff played on your channel or anybody else, we really appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
It keeps the whole thing going. So thank you.
It means a lot, because we've been going since 2017. We made loads of mistakes. We were crap in some areas, but we just keep looking at what's working, and what we try to create is not just. I say any knobber can play tracks. Anyone, I could put anyone in this chair and they could play music. Anyone, it doesn't matter, does it? But it needs to be a bit more than that. I think that the days of doing that have gone. The days of just putting a banging track out have gone. You've got to be more than that, and there's got to be something. You've got to create something. That's what we've tried to do. So we want to create a movement with artists, with bands, with producers, and other radio stations as well. I don't see any competition, and if anyone wants to collaborate with us, record labels, whatever, then give us a shout, because we're up for it.
Can I pay you one really, really important compliment? I'm just watching all the graphics that come up on Mixcloud, and it looks really professional.
Thank you.
You obviously run a good ship there.
Yeah, we've got a good team there, done by Eddie King. Thanks very much. He always puts on. Oh, do you like the graphics? Because he wants.
I love the graphics, Eddie.
He wants a bit of kudos. You know what I mean? And I've got a great producer in the background, Janice, who does all the researching and all the rest of it. And we have got a great team. It's took a while to get here. And thanks for your compliment, because we sit here and go, we've got a great product. If you class this as a product, we've got a great product. We need more people watching us. But I'm just tirelessly keep going, and we keep going, because one day it'll just go boof. That's what we're expecting anyway. But thanks for that. Really appreciate it. So we're not going to play all of it. We're going to play a little bit of Forever Your Pleasure from Manta Ray. See what they sound like. And I think it was playing anyway. Was it? Oh, here we go. Hey? That's the Raz again. I thought that doesn't sound like them. This is it here. I had it in the wrong place.
That's
This is the one they've sent us anyway. We'll have a little bit of a listen to this, people. We'll be right back. This is Manta Ray with Invisible Squirrel. Oh, yeah.
Through my veins, tried 1,000 times to break free from the pain. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to play forever. Your pleasure.
I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking his voice. I know what you mean. He's very, very old school rock, innit? You know, with a high pitched scream. Because I'm not trying to disrupt, but they have that voice, don't they?
In fact, the single that we're working on at the moment, it takes it to a next level. I think he's written a chorus. They've written a chorus that I think it kind of reminds me sort of like White Snake, but also like Oasis. It's got that sort of 90s rock thing, but without it. Yeah, they've got a banger coming up.
I like that.
Really yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good, though. You can hear his voice in the background. You know, it's brilliant. That'd be another one on the list to have a chat to.
Nice one. Yeah, that'll be pleased.
I'm sure. We're nibbling away. We're nibbling away in the background of all the underground scene and the people that are popping up, and that's what it's all about. Is trying to get you exposure, us exposure, and that's what it is. Have I got any questions? I have to keep refreshing this because sometimes the questions don't come up on here for me.
Tell you what, Kurt, I could give you a list of 20 names of people that are absolutely banging out.
Us exposure, and yeah, well, you give it Janice. Oh, there we go. It's started to come up now. But Manta Ray, back in. We've played your music. Speak to Janice, please, Manta Ray. We'll get you on the show. We'll have a chat with you. She might chuck it in the dustbin. Oh, that'll be good. Dancing around in the kitchen. Who's that? Lindsay.
That's a friend of mine. I was just talking to her on WhatsApp just before you came on. I said, I got to go. She said, "What are you talking on?" So that's my lovely friend, Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay.
Oh, thanks, Lindsay. I'm dyslexic, so when I see stuff that's all together like that, it just blows me head. I can't even read it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't read normal stuff half the time, but I can. Anyway, enjoy it, Lizzie. We've got more to come. We've got a track that is not released yet. So when does this track get released? Is this from the album or the EP later on in the year?
Yeah, this comes out on Spotify in November, but it comes out on Bandcamp with that feature that I was telling you about. So this was a new thing I did. It was it's like a mixtape. So basically, the all 9 tracks on it are all seamless, and it was my first attempt at sort of doing that sort of DJ thing. And the track you've got is one of the 2 bangers on there that I'm really, really happy with. So you've got, is it Mogwai Foundry?
Mogwai Foundry. It's just over 5 minute track, which is not a problem.
Well, the deal with that is the fact that, you know, that I don't know if you're into Mogwai, but they do this sort of wall of sound with guitars and occasionally synths, and it's a sound that they've sort of made their own. Whereas what I've used on that is just a wall of sound, but using synths. So that was the idea. It was sort of a little salute to Mogwai, but at the same time, it's still got those sort of big beat things that you've probably heard in the other tracks you've played.
I like it. So, what have you got a room Have you got a room with all your? Because by the sounds of it, synths. You must have more than one synth, and you must have a lot of equipment. Have you? Have you got?
No, I've got one synth. and I very rarely use it because these days I've got my 88 note keyboard sat in front of me. I'm actually in the studio now, but I'm using the Mac. But within it you've got what are called software synths. So they're emulations of these. And that's what I use basically, soft synths.
I like it. Why not? Why? It's not a problem, is it? It's not. I'm not a musician. I can't play anything. You know what I mean? Can't sing. A bit like Diana Ross. Well, that's another.
If I had bought the hardware versions, all the synths I've used on my last album, it would be about £500,000.
Woo!
So let's just be thankful that we've got software versions.
It's amazing what you can do in it with the software nowadays, and the some of the stuff we can produce and do because of software. It's just. Yeah, phenomenal. What would you pay for some of the stuff? This what we're doing now. I've got a decent camera and a bit of equipment, and it's just fantastic. I've got a when we do our live gigs here, I've got a studio mixer on here for cameras, so I can have up to 4 HD cameras. I can flip between them seamlessly on here. It's brilliant, and it's amazing what you can do, isn't it? It's amazing what you can do.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, well, I tell you what, I was gonna save it for the end of the show, but I think we're gonna go because we've been talking about. I think we're gonna go in now with this track that's not been released. And if you're on Bandcamp, people, not that one time in Bandcamp, where the music is, then you'll see him featured on there, the Invisible Squirrel. It's awesome, absolutely awesome, man. So glad you came on the show.
I appreciate it.
Be right back. How much of this do we play, people? Do we go for the full 5 minutes? Should we? Yes. I'm being told yes. Come on, Lizzie, I want to see you moving around in that kitchen, baby. Turn it up. I'll tell you what. We got sent that today. Well, Janice got it off Invisible Squirrel. We'll bring him back in the room. Where is it? There he is. Mate, I've listened to that twice before the show. Janice sent it me, so I had to listen to it. And then I had a little sleep this afternoon on my couch there because I was knackered. And I woke up to that. I woke up and I put that straight on. So
That's great to hear.
That uplifted me,
is
man.
definitely the showcase for the big beats. I mean, the one thing I take a lot of pride on is the fact that I write all my own beats, and so all this sort of tom feels you got there it came about really because I've played in a couple of bands with great drummers, so kind of understand the dynamics of programming drums and stuff like that. I don't really use loops, so. And it's great that you like it so much because it's sort of indication that I'm going down the right path.
Yeah,
so I appreciate it,
like you'll baffle me with science with talking about stuff, but I just know what I like. Do you know what I mean? I know what's good, and that is good. That is brilliant. Eddie's been on. He went, "This is my kind of vibe." That is brilliant. That's a brilliant track. I love it. I love your work, man. I love your work. I think it's great.
That's out on August the 12th on Bandcamp. So if it's right in the middle of a 30-minute mix, but you have to wait till November on Spotify, I'm afraid.
Right. Well, when it's released, because obviously we interview loads of people. Make sure you she'll be on it anyway, but make sure you let Janice know, and then we'll fire it all over the place. Can't beat it, can you? You can't beat it. What have we got here? Shaunable's loving it from Wolf and Brew.
So who's Shaunable?
Shaunable is one of our listeners who's joined us. Yeah,
hello, Shaunable.
But he works for Wolf and Brew, who sponsoring this show and sponsoring the Friday. They sponsor the Friday show, and I think he was one of those stuck in. I think when I had a chat, I think he was stuck in the old school. I know what I listened to, and I just listened to it, and then he came across some of our shows, and I think we've actually opened him up to new things, which is great.
Right, great to hear. Yeah, that's the sort of listener you want to get.
But
just pull them out of their little, their sort of Spotify playlist into new music.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shaunable.
We love him to bits. Anyway, we have a question that we sometimes ask people. Well, I ask people. You don't have to answer it if you don't want, because sometimes people do, some people don't. Room 101. What band or bands or music would you put in Room 101? You don't have to answer it if you don't want. It's up to you.
Well, I was lucky enough. I've seen a couple of your podcasts, one with Joe Peacock, and you asked him this. So I have got an answer to who would I want to get rid of from the face of the music planet.
Let's go. I love this.
It's going to be a bit contentious, this one. And it's purely based on his personality, not his music, and that's Liam Gallagher.
Oh, do you know what? I had a feeling he was going to say that. I get that. I totally get that. I totally get that.
I mean, if you're going to be up yourself, you gotta back it up with your tunes, and I've never really thought. I think he relied heavily on his brother. So I'm a big Noel Gallagher fan, and I think Liam can he can go back to Coke Habit and talk.
Cool. And I've not got an issue with that. I've had the pleasure of seeing them twice when they were together as Oasis, and I thought they just blew me away. And I think the last time I saw them was about 2 days before they split up, before the big bust up. Saw him at Coventry Arena. Have you seen? I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but there's a documentary. I think it was 2019 with Liam.
I haven't.
How it was, or something like that. Seriously, watch it. You might even see a different. I'm not trying to sell him to you, but you might see a different side to the man after watching it. Because I am a big. Well, look on the back wall there, Liam and Noel.
Well, if I'd known, I'd have picked someone else.
No, it doesn't matter. I've not got an issue with it. I've not got an issue. I get it. I understand it. I understand people might not like his swagger and might prefer Noel. And I think all the upheaval in the band probably stem from Liam being a bit of a knob. But that's just the way it is. He's rock and roll, man. But watch that. You don't like him, but watch the video. Watch that documentary. I think it's on Netflix. I was really taken by it, and I saw a different side to the guy, and I was like, wow, yeah, okay, I'm having that. I like that. It's really informative, even if you hate him.
No, I appreciate he has mellowed. He's
mellowed, definitely mellowed now.
But a nice guy.
But yeah, I get you. I totally get you. I mean, I met Brandon Block a couple of years ago, and he was an absolute Fruit Loop back in the day. But now you wouldn't even like one of the nicest men you ever meet in the street. Do you know what I mean? Totally, he's off it. So cool. Right, so that answers that room one. I was hoping you were going to say Queen because Eddie loves Queen. I love it when people say Queen, get rid of Queen.
You can't say that. That's the national treasure band, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's done it for me. Eddie plays them too much. I used to. Are you a Glastonbury fan or festival events? Oh, that's an interesting question.
So, am I a fan of Glastonbury?
Yeah, or festivals. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my claim to fame is that the only time I went to Glastonbury, I did it by bribing one of the men in luminous tabards when the reinforced sort of fences that used to be around them were a little bit more climbable.
Yeah.
I remember when I went up with my dodgy mate, and I think it was '94. And he kind of lifted me up on his shoulders, and I stuck my head over the top of the fence, and I just said, "Look, I don't want to question your professionalism here, lads, but what is the going rate for bribing my way into Glastonbury?" And he went, 20 quid, and I went, "There you go, it's for two of us." And then the next time we were in, so we wandered around without anywhere to camp for about 2 days, me and my mate Tom, which was a lot of fun.
You must be the politest briber in the world. Excuse me, fellas. I love that.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums me up. That was the way I did it.
What's your name? You don't have to give his name. I'm imagining he was called Barry because Barry's are always a bit dodgy. Yeah, my dodgy mate Barry in the 90s. We got into Glasgow. We bribed out 20 quid, man. That's not bad, is it?
94. I have no idea what the ticket was going for at that time, but we felt we had a bargain. Yeah, that's for sure.
So you never ended.
I'm sorry to the Evers family for depriving them of the.
I think they're doing all right. So you didn't get in someone else's tent for a couple. So you didn't sleep then. You know, I had nowhere to sleep for 2 days.
But there was a couple of mates knocking around inside, but I just think we just wandered around like you do at these festivals. I don't know. I'm not going to go any further than that. We just somehow managed to.
Well, there was going back to the Liam Noel thing. There was an absolute. I watched his interview because he was obviously on at Glasgow, and I thought he did a brilliant set. And at the end, when he got interviewed, he said, "I've not been drinking. I've got to catch up to everyone else. I'm going to start in a minute, and I'll be up to about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning." And there's a picture of him stood with 2 or 3 people outside the pyramid stage at 4 o'clock in the morning. No one else there, just them and Noel. I thought that was lovely. That was nice of him to do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I know you're trying to win me over with the Liam thing.
No, I'm not trying to win you over. I don't give two monkeys who you like or who you don't like. Listen, I'm the old school where we can have a disagreement about something and still be friends.
I'm just kidding you, man. I'm just kidding you, Kurt.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh, Manta Ray saying tut tut. Maybe that must because you got into Glasgow for Glasgow.
Well, you know, you do things in your late teens, early 20s that maybe you're not proud of, but you know, I had to admit that. Yeah, I'm a big Glasgow fan. To answer your question,
yeah,
I would love to be able to go, and obviously, I would love to be able to play there one day. But I think my time is up. But right. There you go.
Oh, here we go. I've got a question. That was a question from someone else, also from me. You've got a question from me though, because you've obviously done the RAS and you've been obviously collaborating with one or two individuals. You've got your own stuff rocking. So, who would be up there as someone that you would like to remix?
It would be someone like Beck. I'd like to work with Beck because he's one of my. Then I think if I could get hold of the stems of bands like Talk from the 90s.
Man, now you're talking.
Yeah, good question. I'd love to work with Elbow.
What a voice!
As far as dance music, I mean, the people like Paul Oakenfold and BT, Chemical Brothers, and all that. I it's not really someone you could collaborate with because they do the same job, you know. But they're the people I look up to. Yeah.
No, but you're right, because a bit like Manta Ray with the voice, the rock, you know, and you've changed that into a dance mix. If you took someone like Elbow, I think that'd be stunning. I think that'd be really good. So if anyone out there knows Elbow, yes, from Manchester, tell him Kirk from Manchester wants him to collaborate with the Invisible Squirrel.
We can only hope.
Wow, I tell you what, I've enjoyed myself so much. The time has flown by. We've still got some more chatter to do, but just so I don't forget, because Eddie will lose his mind if I don't ask you. We've been asking artists to do drops saying, "Hello, this is, you know, you'd do something like this is the Invisible Squirrel. You're listening to Dougie Stone Radio, but you can do two if you want. You can do one for your alter ego, Invisible Squirrel, and you can do one for yourself. It's up to you."
Okay. You're listening to Dougie Stone Radio. My name is Invisible Squirrel, and enjoy the music.
Excellent. Love it. Do you want to do one as yourself?
This is Dougie Stone Radio, and my name is Joe Adamar. Enjoy the tunes.
Perfect. Eddie, get on it, kid. Get on it. He'll be all over that like a rash. That's what he does. He does it for it. Loving this lots. Oh, she's already on it. Manta Ray, I'm already DMing them, chatting to him. Eddie says, thank you, it's made my day. That must be saying that you've like his stuff, so that's wonderful. Right, okay, cool. What else have I got lined up? Let's see what else I had lined up on the playlist. I had, so we got the Manta Ray. I had Sonder on. I had When It Hits Home. And three.
Yeah, that's Arcade State. So yeah, again, like I have forgotten a few people. That was another remix I did. That's just hit about 2,000 plays. Yeah, they're a great band from Glasgow. Arcade State do some cracking, and their drummer I kind of know reasonably well. Jordan, he's a brilliant rock drummer. So that was good fun. That remix.
Cool. We'll play that. We'll end the show with that then. So
it's a long one. That's 6 minutes. You're definitely gonna have to fade that one out.
Oh, 6. And if it was Eddie, but 6 minutes and 37 seconds. He always has to have the seconds. I don't know why it drives me insane. It's over 6 minutes long, people.
Can I make as a request?
Yeah.
Could you put on Nicholas Bloody Parsons? Because that, to me, the one thing about the Invisible Squirrel that I really enjoy and I get to do on Twitter is you can just be absurd. And it is my most absurd set of lyrics.
It's your show, man. It's not mine. It's your show. It's to showcase you.
And that one, I'd appreciate that a lot.
We'll put that on, but we'll still be rocking with your other stuff as well, and we'll keep our eye on you and see what's going on. So, a question. So you're obviously producing. I'm presuming now you're not doing anything at events, live mixing or anything like that. You're just purely studio based.
Well, I mean, I'm the wrong side of 50, and I've never learned how to DJ. So if you know anybody, who's a DJ out there that likes to do breakbeat, just send them my way, and I'm quite happy to provide the tunes for them. So that, as far as Squirrel's concerned, I've been looking for someone who's doing the clubs to DJ my stuff for a long time now.
Well, we have got an up and coming. We'll remember. Someone will have to make a note of it. We have got an up and coming. He does drum and bass and all that sort of stuff. So he knows what he's doing, and he's been in Studio One. So I'll have a chat with him. Young guy, he's only 21. So we'll have a chat with him. Yeah.
Well, that'll be great.
Tom Butler, his name is. But anyway, if anyone out there fancies getting involved and knows what to do, you need to get hold of the Squirrel and have a chat with him. And if you're not sure, go to Dougie Stone Radio on Twitter, speak to Janice, and she'll facilitate the link. So
arrange that'd be great, Kurt.
Excellent. So where's the best place for people to find you? It's Bandcamp, it's on Spotify, Twitter, I presume.
Just that, yeah. I like most people, just bang it out on the streams. I am more recently though. I kind of put Bandcamp out first because it tends to be a little bit more kind to the musicians as far as revenue.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, and I've said it a few times. I think the music industry is totally transformed. It makes it easier for people like us and you to produce stuff, and if you can do stuff in your bedroom, and but I also think that everyone gets ripped by things like Spotify. Spotify is brilliant, but also there's a downside that they're getting the revenue and the artists aren't getting what they need. And if you go and see any bands or any artists, buy the merch or go to Bandcamp and buy it, or buy the vinyl that they release. Because is any plans to release any vinyl? That's quite popular still. It's a good way of generating some revenue.
I didn't quite have the fan base as Joe Adamar to release vinyl until the Bandcamp feature happened. So the fact that they in about 2 weeks will be featuring my album has given me the opportunity to. So I've got. In fact, here we go. That's the single.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all they're all. So that's a first for me, and I've also got some vinyl on order, which will probably arrive in about 2025 by the reckoning.
I know it's mental at the minute. There's lots of bands that have taken deposits for vinyl, and they're like, "Sorry, it's been delayed again. It's been delayed again. It's been delayed again."
I think it's coming up to about 10 to 11 months with the guy that I went with who mastered the vinyl.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite a long wait. I'm hoping he'll be here before Christmas, but fingers crossed.
Cool. Well, I'm going to let you get on with your rest of your evening. It's been absolutely wonderful to get to know you, and I've thoroughly, I can't even say it, I've enjoyed it a lot.
Thanks again, Kurt. And I appreciate what you do, and I hope you get loads more people like me on and keep doing what you do.
We will do, man. We're going to keep knocking on doors. We're going to keep doing our stuff, and we're going to prove to the world what Dougie Stone Radio is all about. Thank you, my friend. Seriously, thanks for your time, because I know you've all got things to do, to share a moment with us. So we're gonna end with this one from the Invisible Squirrel, Nicholas Bloody Parsons. Do you know what? It was great as well, Nicholas Parsons. It was a great show, wasn't it? Was it? The
song is a reference to the comic strip Presents. Used to be Aid Edmondson and Rick Mail. So if a lot of people began, I remember that. So we'll just leave it at that. Just Google Nicholas Bloody Parsons.
Oh, he was brilliant. What a great guy. Thanks very much. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
This has been Dougie Stone Radio, people. Sponsored by Wolf and Brew, the awesome Invisible Squirrel. See you next time. I'm liking it. Nicholas Bloody Parsons, eh? Thanks for all your comments, and there's lots on there, and I missed quite a lot of it. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks very much. We do these on a regular basis over on Mixcloud Live, a brilliant platform, especially if you're you can play copyright material because they do pay the artist. Massive shout out to the Invisible Squirrel for being on the show. Thanks for Janice, the producer, for setting it all up. And thanks for Mr. King for his graphic genius. So don't forget to go and check out Joe Adamar. And until next time, as they say, Kirk out.